Hi, welcome back to the video training series on field inspections. My name is Steve Bialk. I'm the originator of this series. I put this series together along with a instruction, training manual, guide, whatever you like to call it. And the reason I did it is I found that this is a type of a business that it's easy to read about something in a guide or a training manual, but it sure is nice to see someone walking around showing you exactly how an inspection can be done, what some of the particulars are, some of the issues involved, talking about some of the different types of inspections that we're going to encounter. So I put this training series together about on that more than anything else, just to assist it, get you a familiarity with the idea of what a field inspection is. Let's talk a little bit today about kind of what a lot of people probably thinking is, well, geez, what exactly is a field inspection? Where did this thing come from? What is this about? Well, field inspections are pretty much just documentation, both in picture and in a report, that you're going to provide back to most likely a bank, a lender, an insurance company. That's where most of our inspections are coming from. And I'm talking to you in the spring of 2010, and we also are dealing with a lot of foreclosures, a lot of the type of issue, bankruptcies, that we didn't have maybe that kind of volume with a few years ago, but it's really a lot of our business is coming from that. So we'll talk about that in another video, but what I want to talk about is kind of going back to what field inspections are. Basically, we are just the eyes and the ears of the inspection, of the insurance company, and that's important. It's important because they're asking us to give them the best picture we possibly can of what that property is. And it's done through our photographs and it's done through a report. Okay? We're going to talk a little bit about the report. We're going to talk a little bit about what you're going to get from the field inspection company, a national or regional field inspection company. All right? The way it works for me, and I'm sure with a lot of other field inspectors, is on Sunday night or Monday, I'll get requests for reports or inspections coming in. And they're either going to be labeled inspection report, maybe inspection request, whatever. Don't worry about the phraseology or whatever that company's doing. The most important is that you're getting an inspection sent to you, and then on it, it'll be broken out. It'll tell you, okay, Steve, here's what we want you to do. We want you to do this inspection, and it's going to be at this location. And two things are going to happen. One is, depending on the national regional company, the companies that I work with, many of them call in advance if I have to go in and see a property, or I have to actually go in the property itself, and that type of an inspection. There'll be a contact made, and then I follow up with that contact a day or 2 or 3 days before that I schedule that inspection, because I want to schedule it. I want to call up John Jones and say, John, I need to come out and take a look at your building over there on 60th Street. What's a good time for you? I'm available on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. And what I'm trying to do is set up my week, or the next week and a half or 2 weeks of inspections. Because the bottom line here is what we're trying to do is we want to get in inspections done as many as possible during the week, because that's how we're paid. All right. So let's go back to the report. The report then will also tell me, okay, there might be a supplement in that report. It might say, okay, we want you to do pictures of the building. We want you to do measuring of the building, and that's where this tool comes in. This is our little measuring wheel. We've showed about how to use that in other videos. And they'll send you maybe something that'll ask for a diagram or a drawing, whatever. Again, don't worry about that particular topic or the name of it. It's just that it's a task that you have to do. The next thing they're probably going to say is, okay, here's the kind of report that we're sending you. And all these reports come to you, and usually via email. That's how they all come to me right now. And it's broken out. They might send you one folder in your email, or the email has, you open it up and it'll say, okay, here's the report we need. The first thing it'll be is maybe the report, the name of the report. Do this drive-by inspection at 58th and Center Street. All right. The next part of the report will say, we want you to also do visual observation on the report. Here's the report, and you can take a look at that report ahead of time, and it'll say, here's 8 or 10 questions we need you to answer. And you go to that property. It's very simple. You take your pictures, take your little report with you. They're all question and answer. And if there's anything that you see in particular, maybe the building is boarded up and it's not supposed to be boarded up. In the remarks section on a report, you say, hey, this building's boarded up. Did the report to the best of my ability, and you go on. You'll get paid for it. Nothing wrong with that. But the point is, that insurance company, that bank, doesn't know that that property's been boarded up. Maybe they don't know it's vacant. Maybe they don't know that people moved out. Or maybe it went into foreclosure, or maybe it's the building's different than what they thought it was. And that's what the field inspection is going to do. It's going to provide back the information so that that insurance company or bank, the people sitting back there in New York, let's say, and you're in Salt Lake City, they have no idea what's going on in Salt Lake City. And they don't have staff that's in Salt Lake City. So that's what we as field inspectors are doing. So let's go back again. So we get this documentation in from the field inspection company, our regional company that we're doing work with. They break it out. They say, Steve, here's what we want you to do. Here's the report. Here's the information we need. Here's a diagram, and you go out and do it. Okay? You complete that side of it because there's two parts to every field inspection. The first part is you go out in the field and do the actual work. The second part is you go back to the office and you take all the information that you collected, the pictures, documentation of your measurements, and possibly the report if there is one, and you go back to your office and you complete the inspection report. And that means you take the information that you collected out in the field and you take that information, you transpose it, if you will, onto a duplicate report that's sent to you so that when you send it back, you're emailing it. They're not going to take a fax report in most cases. Some of them will, but most of them it's all email now. Same thing with the pictures. You're going to take the pictures from your camera and you're going to go back to your office and you're going to say, okay, here's 58th and Center Street, here's the report, here's my 10 pictures that I took. I take those pictures, I download them from my camera into the folder that I've been sent to me from the field inspection company. It's then put in that folder, and then what I do is I just label those pictures, front, back, rear, side, bad porch, broken steps, whatever it might be. I prepare that and I email that along with the report and along with possibly a diagram. The diagram is the third part of an inspection report. Again, we're taking our measurements on a yellow pad of paper that I use. We take it back, we take that, we make up a nice little simpler diagram. They probably, the inspection company will provide you with a little, it could be a piece of graph paper, whatever. It depends. You take and put your information and measurements on that, and you transmit that back to the field inspection company. So this 58th and Center report, inspection report, it's got three components: pictures, an actual report, and a diagram, and that's it. I send that information. So what I'm getting at is, when we're out doing our field inspections in the field, got to be realized is that it's important that you're thinking ahead somewhat about, okay, I'm going to do these 9 reports in the next 2 days, these 9 inspections, and you want to make sure that you've got your paperwork in order. You don't want to be running around looking for it. You want to make sure that you use something like what I do. I kind of just use something real simple, but I can keep all of my documents inside of this. When I'm done with a report, I'll put on the front of the report, if it's a little report, done on August 1st, 2009, completed. And so I can document that it's been done. And when I go back to my office, everything is in somewhat of an order, and I can then take it. Because you want to be as efficient as possible in the office. You don't want to sit and spend hours putting this information together. You shouldn't have to. On a typical photo inspection, you're taking 4 or 5 pictures. It'll take you about 2 or 3 minutes to download those pictures and send them off to the inspection company. And you're going to get paid $7 to $12 for that inspection. So the time you're in the field taking the pictures and the 2 or 3 minutes that's going to take you to download those pictures to the field inspection company, that's your total involvement in that type of work. That's why there's different compensation levels on the different types of inspections that you do. Because the field inspection company knows that you have to put time in both in the field and on a computer. You have to have an internet connection. Obviously you do if you're watching this video. You've got an internet connection. You can either do it off of a laptop when you're sitting in Starbucks. I've done them. You can send them back to the field inspection company. You can go back to your office and say, okay, on Friday afternoons and Saturday mornings, this is when I do all my paperwork. So all the reports that you do for that week or the previous week, you just choose one day of the week and you fall into a routine and do them. Because if you don't, what happens is that if you don't get a report back to the field inspection company within a certain timeline, and on the reports, when you first get them, it could say ASAP. The report has to be done within a certain time or it's a rush inspection. Well, when you have to do that, you contact the field inspection company and say, hey, you want this back? How fast do you want it? We need it in 24 hours. Okay, well, how much are you going to pay me for that?